I see a young boy.
I came up with the idea for the Refuge through a series of, I'd say, events, I guess. I was a tough kid, or not even tough, I would say a bad kid. And my senior year of high school, when I finally turned my life around, really became a Christian, I started working for an organization in which we traveled all around the country and we did school assemblies. And I worked for a man named Lloyd Ziegler, who we did anti-gang, anti-drugs, anti-violent school assemblies, and it took us into pretty much schools all over. Traveling, I got the opportunity to speak. I got the opportunity to be involved in affecting kids' lives, teenagers mainly, and then we'd leave. And through one really intense couple of weeks in Montana, where we did these school assemblies, and we really built relationships with kids who were struggling with self-esteem, struggling with the desire to live. When it was time to say goodbye, I just began to think, man, I'm not cut out for this. So one day here in Phoenix, I was at Phoenix First Assembly, which is a pretty large church here, and it was early in the morning, and I just happened to be up on the balcony and had my Bible out, and I was just praying. And there was this small class that was taking place down on the bottom floor, and the guy was talking about purpose. And I was sitting there and I thought to myself, here I am, and I love what I'm doing. I love the man that I'm doing it for, but it wasn't mine. And I really just said, okay, God, I need to have some type of purpose. And literally, I was up there and I said, God, what is my purpose? And almost very vividly, I began to walk through what we have here today, which is this vision of a refuge, of this youth center, where I saw everything from the pool tables to the skate parks, and this is what you're going to do, and this is how you're going to do it. And that was about 11 years ago. And that's pretty much when I set into motion. I started talking to people and figuring things out. But that's pretty much how I came up with the idea of the Refuge. How can I build relationships with kids and teenagers, mainly troubled kids, get them into an environment in which they feel safe enough to be honest about where they're at, and then have a consistently faithful existence so that they can come back and throughout all adolescence have the opportunity to grow up and to discover who they are and what they were meant to be, and do it in a place that they feel safe to do it. So that's kind of how we came to the idea of the Refuge.
For me, I kind of wasn't doing good. I went to this camp in California, and I met Pastor Dan, and then he offered me to come out here to live out here, so just took up the opportunity.
So you pretty much moved from Cali to get away from...
To get away from just the friends I was hanging out with. Totally.
And what's better about here? What do you like more about here?
Just the people here are just real easy to talk to, I'm kind of shy, so it's just it's positive, I'm not out doing things that I shouldn't be doing.
So they talk to you more and you get to interact with them and not be too shy.
Yeah, and just remember how to have fun without, drugs.
I want to work with teenagers because that was a tough time for me, and unfortunately, and maybe fortunately now, but not at the time, I had no reason for it to be tough. Almost everything I struggled with as a teenager was self-inflicted, and I brought a lot of struggles on myself, and probably threw away a lot of opportunity. I want to meet them at that moment when they have that crossroad, the decision: am I going to be a puppet to the masses, or am I really going to be the master of my own fate? Am I going to decide what I am going to accomplish, what I want to accomplish? Am I going to let me, be the one that decides, hey, I've got this inside of me, and even if nobody sees it, I'm going to pursue it. Aristotle says that the fate of empires relies solely on the education of the youth. And to me, that's pretty much where it's at. I mean, it can't be overstated that the future of this country is determined by how and what type of teenagers we raise, and if we think we can change them later on in life, it's it's too late.
When I first joined the Refuge, I noticed a lot of people were saying like all these stories of like these great missions trips and stuff that they were going on, like all these fun things that they were doing. And I was like, I got to do some of this. Like, I want to have these memories and these stories. So I started getting involved in the trips, the different missions, the outreaches, and all the different things that the Refuge was doing. And I started noticing that I was developing those stories and those memories, and I really enjoyed them, and it's fun having those to look back on with my friends.
I work the snack bar a lot. I like barbecue, whatever. I also just do whatever Pastor Dan tells me to do. He's like, go move some stuff, I'll do it. Go fix the rickshaws, I'll do it. Mainly Pastor Dan makes me like, he's like, hey, come help me lift something. So the people that work here, I expect to give it their best, you know?
Yeah.
Like, don't give half. Like, do anything you can, even if you don't want to, even if you're tired, just do it. But the kids that skate here, I just say, relax, have fun, we'll do all the work, you know? Just that we're here for you guys. Do your thing, we'll help you guys out with whatever you need.
There's kind of the people who come in and skate, and then there's the people, you know, who stay here and work, which would be like, you know, Alex and I.
Right.
And really, as far as the people who work, it's, you know, if Pastor Dan asks you to do something, you do it, you know, 100%, you go right at it. But as far as the skaters go and anybody else who comes in and just wants to enjoy themselves, go for it. That's what we're here for.
Well, our whole system hinges on positive peer pressure. And so what we have is a facility that we try to do everything we can that kids do. You know, we want to eliminate any excuse not to be around. So with music, automotive, art, skateboarding, BMX scene, even lounging, you know, video games. You know, all of it is made accessible and free to the kids that are enrolled in the Refuge program. And so there is this motivation which says, here, I need to be enrolled. The only way to be an active member of the Refuge is to volunteer. So they have to do community service at a minimum of twice a month.
Man, I would love to see the kids and the teenagers buy into everything that the Refuge is trying to do. Once you do, and it's a commitment. I mean, it really is a commitment. But once you do, you'll really see a side of things that you've noticed you've neglected your entire life. And that's I think probably the most important thing is it helps you be very balanced.
We honor the things in this place that the world doesn't honor. And that changes the dynamic of everything. It does create a subculture, because then kids who have all sorts of worldly honor from their school campuses, and they can walk in and they have no clout. You know, they have no influence here because we don't honor that. We don't honor the partier. We don't honor, you know, the guy that's slept with 25 girls. We don't honor that. We honor honest, good people who are willing to you know, work on becoming better people, and in the process help others along the way. And so because of that, there does become a subculture, and that's why it's called the Refuge, because it's a safe place from all of that other stuff. And I think that it helps even the playing field for kids who don't fit that mold. You know, kids who aren't prototypes of, you know, of the world in the media and music, but they're just kids. They're just themselves, you know, and they have just as much to offer the world, if not more sometimes, than those that fit that stereotype, that cookie cutter, you know, whether it's, you know, whoever it is, you know, whoever is popular today. And that's the one thing that, you know, that I love about it here, is that when they realize that, when they find within themselves this identity, this individuality of this, I'm my own person, and in the process discover, and I'm happy about it. I'm my own person and I'm happy about it. Other people appreciate me for who I am, and I haven't had to do any of these other things. I haven't had to compromise. That's probably my favorite thing about the Refuge. But that's a hard question.